A few days later, I woke up and found Jordan gone. No note, no message, just silence. I waited, thinking he'd be back in an hour. Then 2, then 4. By nightfall, I was pacing the floor. I called his old college. He hadn't been enrolled for over a year. I checked with his old friends. No one had heard from him.
If you haven't done so as yet, please like the video and subscribe to the channel.
I never thought a simple knock on the door would change my life. It was a rainy Thursday evening when my stepson, Jordan, came back home after 2 years of silence. He stood there, soaked, shivering, and looking nothing like the bright, ambitious boy I helped raise. His eyes were different, dark, sunken, and full of stories he wasn't ready to tell. "Can I come in?" he asked, almost whispering. Of course I let him in. I made him tea, gave him a blanket, and waited. I didn't ask questions. Not yet. But from the moment he stepped through that door, strange things started happening. And I began to realize I didn't know him at all. Jordan had left for college 2 years ago. He promised to call every Sunday. He never did. His social media accounts went silent. Even his mother, my wife, had no idea where he was. We thought maybe he just wanted space. But the Jordan who came back wasn't the same. He didn't say much at first. He ate quietly, stared at the wall a lot, and flinched whenever the phone rang. He hadn't told us where he'd been, why he disappeared, or what had happened to him. I gave him space, but I couldn't ignore the feeling in my gut. Something was wrong. One night, I noticed his backpack lying open. A black notebook peeked out. It wasn't like me to snoop, but my instincts got the better of me. I picked it up. Inside were pages filled with names, numbers, and strange symbols. Some names were crossed out, others had question marks beside them. One name, Lucas M., was circled several times in red. Before I could flip the page, Jordan came out of the bathroom. I quickly put the notebook back. He looked at me, eyes narrowed. "Did you touch my stuff?" "No," I lied. "Just checking if you needed anything." He didn't believe me. I knew it. But he didn't say another word. A few days later, I woke up and found Jordan gone. No note, no message, just silence. I waited, thinking he'd be back in an hour. Then 2, then 4. By nightfall, I was pacing the floor. I called his old college. He hadn't been enrolled for over a year. I checked with his old friends. No one had heard from him.
If you haven't done so as yet, please like the video and subscribe to the channel.
Then I remembered the name in the notebook. Lucas M. I typed it into Facebook. I found a Lucas Mendoza who lived 2 towns over. The profile was locked down, but one public post caught my eye. "R.I.P. to my brother. Justice will be served." There were hundreds of angry comments, words like revenge, cover-up, and blame the wrong guy, and one comment that chilled me to the bone. "We know who did it. He'll pay for what he did to Marcus." Marcus? Jordan had a friend named Marcus from college. I dug deeper and found a news article from last year. A college student named Marcus Mendoza had died after falling from a dorm balcony. It was ruled an accident, but his family didn't believe it. And suddenly, the pieces started to click. When Jordan finally came back, he was limping. "What happened?" I asked. He waved it off. "Just a fall." But his eyes gave him away. I decided to be direct. "Jordan, what happened to Marcus Mendoza?" His face went pale. His mouth opened, but no words came out. "Were you there that night?" He sat down slowly, hands trembling. Then he told me everything. Marcus and Jordan had been roommates, best friends, but things changed when Marcus started dealing drugs on campus. Jordan begged him to stop, said it was too dangerous, but Marcus wouldn't listen. One night, Jordan found Marcus arguing with a guy in their dorm. He didn't hear the full conversation, but it was heated. Hours later, Marcus was dead. The police questioned Jordan, but with no evidence and no witnesses, the case was ruled an accident. But Marcus's brother, Lucas, believed otherwise. "I didn't kill him," Jordan said, tears in his eyes. "But Lucas thinks I did. He's been following me, threatening me. I had to run." "And the notebook?" A list of people Lucas had threatened or confronted. Jordan had been trying to warn them before it was too late. That night, someone tried to break into our house. The window shattered around 3 a.m. I grabbed the bat from under my bed and rushed downstairs. Jordan was already there, his face pale as paper. We didn't see who it was, but we found a note under the kitchen door. "You're next." We called the police, but they didn't find much. No fingerprints, no leads. Just the broken glass and the note. That's when I realized we couldn't wait for help. We had to find Lucas and end this, before someone else got hurt. I arranged to meet Lucas through a fake social media account. I pretended to be a friend of Marcus, someone who had information. He took the bait. We met in a public park just before sunset. I wore a wire and had a friend watching nearby, ready to call the cops. Lucas was older than I expected. Tired eyes, hands shaking, but his anger was sharp. "You said you had proof," he barked. "I do," I said, "but you need to hear something first." I told him everything Jordan had told me. I told him about the threats, the fear, the notebook, and Jordan's guilt. Not of murder, but of not stopping Marcus from going down a dark path. Lucas was silent. "He's not your enemy," I said. "He tried to save your brother." Lucas looked away, his jaw clenched. Then he whispered, "I lost my brother. Someone has to pay." Then came the twist I didn't see coming. "I wasn't the one who broke into your house," he said, "but I know who did." Turns out, Marcus had been in deep with a campus gang. He owed money, lots of it. And when he died, that debt didn't disappear. Jordan had been running not just from Lucas, but from the people Marcus owed. They thought Jordan had Marcus's stash, and they wanted it back. The break-in wasn't Lucas's doing. It was them, and now they knew where Jordan was. We rushed home, only to find the house ransacked. Jordan was gone. My heart sank. But on the kitchen table was a note in Jordan's handwriting. "Don't come looking for me. I'll fix this." Days passed. No word. No calls. Then one morning, Jordan walked through the front door, bruised but alive. He said he met with the gang leader, gave them the last of Marcus's stash, hidden in an old backpack he'd kept all this time. It was over, for now. "I had to end it," he said. "Running was killing me." He turned himself in later that week. Not for a crime, but to give a full statement to the police. About Marcus, about the threats, about everything. It wasn't easy, but it was right. I once thought being a stepfather meant staying out of things, letting the real parent handle the tough stuff. But I was wrong. Jordan needed someone to believe in him when no one else did. Here's what I learned from his shocking missteps. 1. Silence is a warning sign. When someone you love pulls away completely, don't brush it off. Ask gently but persistently. 2. Secrets only grow in the dark. Avoiding the truth never makes things better. If something feels off, trust your gut. 3. Listening is more powerful than judging. Jordan didn't need lectures, he needed ears. And once I truly listened, everything changed. 4. The past always finds a way to the surface. No matter how far you run, you can't escape it. Face it head on, with support if needed. 5. Being a parent, step or otherwise, is about showing up. Through fear, danger, and uncertainty. You show up. You stand beside them, even in the shadows. Jordan's story isn't a clean one. It's messy, painful, and still healing. But it taught me what love really looks like. It's not always hugs and family dinners. Sometimes it's staring down danger to protect someone who's lost, and walking with them until they find their way home.